But yeah, the basic premise of the book is that,
So question to you, I guess you have evolved into the person you are through reading this book, even though if it was like 2 or 3 weeks. What is the true measure of a man to you now?
That is a very heavy question. And I think as we continue to grow as men, and most importantly, we continue to ask ourselves that question and seek that answer, we find out. But at this point in life, I believe the true measure of man is based upon what is he holding himself accountable to. That's a big thing. It's I think for a large part of my life, I don't think that I was really holding a set of principles that I was holding myself accountable in every moment in my life. What was making the decisions in my life was simply, how I felt about this and how I felt about that. That's how I was kind of making more decisions. But now I'm seeing the value in what identity do I want to have? What is my identity? Who do I want to develop as? How am I consciously doing the work to become the man that I want to be? But to answer it simply, I think that a true measure of a man is a man who is able to manifest peace and joy at will in all situations.
Okay.
And
that was well said.
Yeah. Just to keep it, straight and concise. I think that it is a man who has the ability to manifest peace and joy at will. And the way that you manifest peace and joy is not through, the outside world, but it's through the truths that you uncover during your journey. One of the things that was revealed to me. So my parents or my neighbor, my parents' neighbor, I haven't talked to him in a while, and he is a God-fearing man. He's a Christian man, but I enjoy talking to him. Mm-hmm. We have some really good conversations, and to be honest, he's not the most articulate man, but he's a wise man. I'll say that. So sometimes when I'm talking to him, he might not be saying it. He might not be using the correct diction and the correct, words, but you got to listen very close to what he's talking about. And he was just telling me two things he told me. He was like, I was asking him, how do you deal with all the pressures, or how do you deal with life? And he was just talking about, everybody every day has, what is it? They have so much on their plate. People complain about having so many things on your plate. And I was like,
right.
So how do you get things off of your plate? And he was just like, just take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And that really kind of resonated with me, because my mind is always looking in the future. And I think I'm so far in the future sometimes that it can kind of shake me here in the present and make me think, can I really do that? Can I be consistent in these habits that I'm doing now? But he just told me, just keep it one day at a time. And the last thing that he told me was, he's telling me about love. And he was saying that, love is not just a feeling, but you get love through discipline. You show your love through discipline. And, but I guess I'm using those things, those messages that he told me, as ways of showing me that throughout your life, and as you stay aware and you're looking for answers, you pick up certain truths. And as you hold on to those truths, as you're going through these adversities and challenges, that's what you call upon when the energy that's calling you to do, the negative things in life, that is what's going to keep you focused, So the truths that you're learning about yourself, that you're picking up throughout your journey, is what is going to give you, that peace and joy that you can manifest at will. So I don't know. That sounded like it was pretty complex and, all over the place. But
it was a lot going on. But I feel like that was a deep message. And honestly, bro, when we finish, I'm cutting that in its own segment. We're going to put that out to the people because that was, I think, the thought process that you just went through, but then how everything that you just said ties into the core of where you started. I feel like it was immensely valuable. I wanted to tag on to your neighbor's comments because I met this is when I was just getting into construction. And I met this project manager. She worked for one of the biggest general contractors in the country. Mm-hmm. And they pretty much called her the super project manager. And somehow this kid that works for this tiny GC ends up in a room and we talking. And I was like, how do you manage all of this? Like a $150 million project, a $500 million project. And she said, I take it one task at a time. I write down the things that I have to do, and I commit to finishing this one, and then before I move on to the next one. So it's the same thing as I take it one day at a time. I handle what I have right now, get that done, and then I can move on to the next one. I've been I kind of attached myself to this mentor. His name is DeMarco Mitchell, a teacher here in Atlanta. And the thing that we've been really talking about that I have trouble with is something that you just said is being where my feet are. It's a hot slogan going around like be at where your feet at right now. But I got trouble with that because I'm always like, all right, this is cool right now, but what's next? How do I get to what's next? And like you said, when you start thinking like 4 years down the line or 5 years down the line, it can look daunting on getting there. Mm-hmm. But if I look back at where I am now, it took every day, it took every step to even get here. So I know going forward, I got to lay, as Will Smith said, lay my brick each day as best I can. And then hopefully, with my intention, I get to the place that I intended or not. But I've handled the spaces that I'm in to be able to gain and hold on. And I always go back, put the tools that I can in today's experience.
Yeah.
And that'll help me wherever I end up. Of course, I set a goal, but I can't even have a chance to get there if I don't handle today.